On the night of April 14th, 1912, as the RMS Titanic faced its final hours, one detail stood out in the darkness of the North Atlantic. The ship remained illuminated. Please subscribe. Against the cold, black ocean, Titanic appeared as a glowing structure, its lights shining steadily even as the situation around it became more serious. This image, both powerful and haunting, would later become one of the most memorable aspects of the disaster. In the early moments after the iceberg collision, there was little to suggest immediate danger. The ship's lights remained bright, the interiors were fully visible, and the overall atmosphere still carried a sense of normalcy. For passengers, this visual stability played an important role. Light creates a feeling of safety, and as long as the ship remained illuminated, it was easier to believe that everything was under control. The electrical system of the Titanic was advanced for its time. It powered lighting throughout the ship, from grand dining halls to narrow corridors. This system was maintained by engineers working below deck, ensuring that power remained consistent. Even as the situation developed, these systems continued to function, allowing the ship to remain lit during the critical early stages of evacuation. As more passengers moved toward the decks, the presence of light became even more important. It allowed people to see where they were going, to follow instructions, and to navigate the ship more effectively. In a situation where confusion could easily take over, visibility made a significant difference. The illuminated decks provided a sense of order, helping the evacuation process continue with some level of control. But the lights were not just practically were symbolic. They represented stability in a moment of uncertainty. As long as the ship remained lit, it did not fully appear to be in danger. This perception influenced how people reacted, especially in the early stages. It delayed panic, allowing the situation to unfold more gradually rather than all at once. As time passed and the condition of the RMS Titanic worsened, maintaining power became more challenging. Water was entering parts of the ship, affecting systems and increasing the pressure on those working in the engine room. Despite this, the engineers continued to operate the electrical systems, understanding how important the lights were for those above. The image of Titanic glowing in the darkness also had an impact beyond the ship itself. For those in lifeboats, the lights provided a point of reference. As they moved away from the ship, they could still see it, still understand where it was, and still feel connected to it. The illuminated structure stood out against the night, making the situation feel more real, more immediate. As the final moments approached, the stability of the lights began to change. Reports suggest that they did not simply go out all at once. Instead, there were fluctuations, moments where the lights dimmed, then returned before eventually fading. This gradual loss of light added to the intensity of the moment, marking the transition from stability to final collapse. The final blackout was a significant turning point. When the lights of the RMS Titanic finally went out, the ship was no longer a glowing presence in the darkness. It became part of the night, blending into the ocean around it. For those watching, this moment carried a deep sense of finality. It was a clear sign that the situation had reached its end. Looking back, the story of Titanic's lights highlights the importance of seemingly small details in major events. Light, something so common and often unnoticed, became a critical factor in how the situation was experienced. It influenced perception, guided movement, and shaped memory. It also reflects the efforts of those who worked behind the scenes. The engineers who maintained the electrical systems played a key role in keeping the ship illuminated for as long as possible. Their work supported the evacuation, providing the conditions needed for people to move and act. More than a century later, the image of Titanic's lights remains one of the most powerful symbols of the disaster. It represents the contrast between light and darkness, between control and uncertainty, between what was and what was about to happen. In the end, the lights of the RMS Titanic were more than just a technical detail. They were part of the experience, part of the memory, and part of the story stayed on, even as everything else began to fade. And when they finally disappeared, they marked the moment when the ship and everything it represented was lost to the night.